All right, so this is 7-1 part 2. Kevin, today we're going to start out with adding polynomials, okay? So that's going to depend on like terms. Sophia, what are like terms? There we go. Now, Kevin, would you agree that these two things are exactly the same? Yeah, because it's all dependent on the x squared. Like that, not so staged. Okay. So Delaney, ready for this? 3x squared plus 1x squared is how many x squareds?
4x.
So I combine them to get 4x squared. And like I said, I like to use color here to kind of like really help me out. Now, the next thing that I kind of identify as the same, and I also like to use shapes because I'm a math teacher. Okay, in case you didn't know, that's a triangle. All right, now Tanya, I have x and 4x. They're the same because they both have x. Do you see that? What's x plus 4x plus 5x? And last but not least, we have the numbers. The numbers are the same because they don't have any x's. Lamb, -6 plus 10. So plus 4. And that's my answer. Okay. And I found out that color and symbols like really help me out here. Okay. Now, the more we do this, the easier it's going to get. Okay. So I'll give you a second to copy that down. All right. Jordan, in number 2, we have x squared and x squared. How many x squareds do I have? 2x squareds. Very good. Mr. Ferry, I have x and a negative x. Notice I'm taking the sign in front of it as well. So it's x plus negative x. Sorry, I couldn't hear you because somebody's playing music in the bathroom. So if I have x minus x, that's so x minus x is they do what? Cancel out. So it's 0. Does that make sense to you? I know it's a little tricky because you have you want it to be something, but that something is just 0. So it's 0. So they combine to give you 0. Okay. So I'm going to write that. Okay, so they combine to give me 0. Now, Nate, I have the numbers. 8 plus -1 is 8 plus -1. So kind of think of like 8 minus 1, right? 7. Now, the one thing I do here is this. I don't write anything if it's 0. I don't need to. So it's 2x squared plus 7. Okay. So Drew, if something completely cancels out, do you need a pencil? Okay. All right. So if something adds up or combines to give me 0, I don't have to write it. So I just typically don't even write it in this step. I just kind of leave it out. Jordan, you all right with that? Does this make a lot of sense to you? It's pretty straightforward, right? All right, now these first 2 were equations in standard form. That's why I put things in standard form, AJ, is because it makes it easy, right? But not everything comes in standard form. Kind of think of lacrosse when somebody like lines up opposite, right? It kind of makes your life a little bit miserable. It's a little funky. So here, it's not in standard form. So when I'm combining things, AJ, I'm really focusing in on that variable. Do you see how this is 2x cubed? Now, over here, the first one is 2x squared. And the second one is the x cubed. Now, why am I starting with the x cubed? Well, it's not because it came first. Do you see how it came first here? I always started with this like first thing. It just so happened that my largest power of x, my degree, all right, was the first term. So I want to identify the largest exponent and then start there. Liam, does that make sense? And the reason why I want to do that is because that's going to allow me, when I write my answer, to write it in standard form. So here, I have 2x cubed plus x cubed. AJ, what's 2x cubed plus x cubed? Okay, so remember, we're not going to combine the variable. The variable stays the same. So you're going to combine the coefficients. So 2 plus 1 is, so it's going to be 3x cubed. All right, now we're going to move on to the x squareds. So negative 5x squared. And here the x squareds come first in the second one. All right. Sophie, what do we got? 5x squared plus 2x squared. Negative 3x squared. And then I have x. Does x have anything to pair with over here? No. So it just is by itself. And likewise, okay, with that -1, it has nothing to combine with. So it's just -1. So my answer became 3x cubed minus 3x squared plus x minus 1. Notice my answer is in standard form where the variables decrease: x cubed, x squared, x, no x's. This allows me to identify the leading coefficient, which is 3. It allows me to easily see that there are 4 terms, so we'd call it a polynomial. And we can go from there. In number 4, I have x squared. I'm going to combine them. So x squared plus 7x squared, well, that's 8x squared. Then I have negative x and negative x. Negative x plus negative x, that's going to be negative 2x. And then I have negative 2 that doesn't combine with anything. Destiny, how do you feel about this? Pretty good? Cool. All right, why don't you guys try these 4? Nothing. No. Matt, all done? Possibly. How's the cross? The cross going on? Good. I see your stocks and slides today. The grass is not low. Go outside the fire. Go. You just did this one. You're just going to combine the ones with the x's. I see the negative 4x plus 6x negative 2x. 9 plus negative 14 negative 5. So here we're going to play the same thing, right? We'll play the same. x squared, we combine together. So x squared, yeah, 0, so we don't have to write. Okay, but you can. It helps you. Okay. So now that we started with the x's, yep, now we're going to go there. So it's perfect. Now we're going to do the numbers. There you go. Okay. Feel a little better, or do you want to figure out for like number 4? All right, let's look at number 1. All right, number 1. Drew, what did you get for number 1? All right, so one more time, what was that? Okay, so the numbers are right, but what's negative 4x plus 6x? Are you sure? It's going to be 2x. And then we have 9 minus 14, and that does give you the negative 5. So it's 2x minus 5, okay? You good with that now? All right, let's go to number 2. Andrew? 4a plus 3. Are we good? Neve, did you get number 3?
Yeah, I got 9x plus 1.
Perfect. The x squared is canceled out, correct? And then number 4, Nate. Okay, I'll give you a second. They can put a marker into the pocket. Done it.
Don't believe it.
I've done it, and then I do it so much that I stretch out the pocket.
Half its orange.
It's not really in my rotation of shirts. Really got like a span of like 7 shirts I wear. That's about it. 'Cause I don't feel like ironing. It's really not a fun thing to do. It's like an adult thing to do. You do have a steamer. There's great stories about the steamer. Nate. Okay, let's start with what's my highest power of t? The third. So let's start here. We have 3t to the third and negative 2t to the third. They're going to combine to give me what? Yeah, t to the third, 1t to the third. Now what's the next highest exponent? The second. So I'm going to focus on t to the second and 2t to the second. They combine to give me 3t to the second. Now, after the second, what's the next highest power of t? T. All right, so right here, I have my t. Okay, oops, dropped it down right in the middle. All right, so I'm going to have 7t. And the last piece is just this guy, correct? So, make sense to you a little bit? So it's definitely the harder one on here. Now let's talk about subtracting polynomials. So the trick with subtracting polynomials is actually just remembering back at the beginning of the year. subtraction is really like adding the opposite. So the first thing I want everybody here to do is this. We're going to rewrite all these problems. All right. But the way we're going to do it is this. We leave the first one the same. All right. And then we are going to add the opposite. So we're going to change all of the signs in the second expression. So that's going to be negative 3x squared plus x plus 8. Does everybody see how I did that? Delaney, you okay with that? In number 2, I leave the first one the same. And then I'm going to add the opposite of the second one. So I'm going to change all the signs. Negative 4p squared becomes 4p squared. Negative p becomes p. And 3 just becomes negative 3. All right. Sophia, for number 3, it's going to be 4n squared plus 5 plus, and I'm going to change the signs of all of these. So 2n squared minus 2n plus 4. Are you okay with that? And then AJ, the last one, number 4 is going to be negative k plus 5 plus negative 3k squared plus 6. And that's my first step here. Notice I didn't do anything else. I just rewrote the problem as an addition problem. I'm adding the opposite. And now this is just what we just did, correct? All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this. We're going to combine the x squareds. 4x squared minus 3x squared is just x squared. Negative 3x plus x is negative 2x. And 5 plus 8 is 13. In number 2, I'm going to combine the p squareds. P squared plus 4p squared is 5p squared. P plus p is 2p. And positive 3 plus negative 3, well, they cancel. They don't give me anything. Okay? Kanye, in number 3, we have 4n squared and 2n squared. That's 6n squared. Now we only have the n here, so we're going to bring that down, and that stays as negative 2n. 5 plus 4 is 9. Kanye, you okay with that? Nothing fancy, correct? Pretty straightforward. And the last one, okay, we have negative 3k squared. Then we have k. And then we're going to combine the 5 and the 6 to make 11. Do they have 4 on their own after that? All right, why don't you guys try the 4? I'm going to leave that up there. Elite class. Elite class. People now. Yeah. So we need a. Seems like a weird. Like, seems like we're playing the same thing. Did they adjust the schedule? Cardinals are pretty powerful for that. That's a big deal. You want to put some in the barrel for it? I like it. Need. Next cup of coffee, good tea, lollipop. Destiny, how you doing? Pretty good. Jack. Okay. Folks at home, Emma doing okay?
Yeah.
Mackenzie doing okay?
Yeah.
Hope?
Yeah.
Okay. Angela? Who else we got home? Maya? You there, Maya? Got anybody else at home I need to check in with? Mhm. Yep. What's up? Yeah, times. Varies on the day. All right. Let's check our work. Okay. For the first one, did we get negative 12h minus 8? Okay. Did we get k cubed plus 4k squared minus 7k minus 4? Okay. Number 3, negative 2g plus 2. Somebody ate their reads this morning. 2x squared plus x plus 3. Still got it. All right. Your homework. Okay, I don't want to do IXL, but it's going to be these extra practice problems. There's 6 of them. Okay, extra practice problems, and then there's going to be a spot on Schoology and you can upload it. Okay? Sound good?